Jacksonville Jaguars fans, welcome into Duval Daily, presented by GenJag.com. I'm Jordan DeLugo. Thanks so much for being here Wednesday, September 10th. Happy hump day. We're about halfway in between week 1 and week 2. Jaguars getting it kicked off against Cincinnati Bengals in Cincinnati. A big week 2 matchup between two undefeated football teams. Excited to get into that over the next few days, but right now we are talking about, are these Jaguars for real, and kind of offering some of the maybe pessimistic outlooks of where this Jaguars team is at. And at the end, I'll kind of, yesterday we did the teal colored glasses outlook of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Right now, we're going to look at a little pessimistically. And at the end, I'll kind of give my honest evaluation from, kind of both sides there. So I'm excited to get into it. Really appreciate y'all being here. If you enjoy the content, please like and subscribe. Do not forget, programming reminder, we have Club Jaguar tonight over on UCF Jaguars channel live, 8:30 p.m. Myself, Dalton, UCF Jaguar, and Jason from Jaguars United. Going to be talking all things Jacksonville Jaguars, talking about the last game, talking about the upcoming game. Fired up for it. Also, if you enjoy the content here, please like and subscribe. Let me know what you think about these Jags in the comment section below. And if you want to support the channel further, you can check out genjag.com/shop, pick up some new Duval gear. So, reasons to kind of doubt what you're seeing from the Jaguars right now. The Panthers, they're just not good. I mean, they're not a good football team. That's very true. And the Jaguars did, in my opinion, a lot of what you need to do against a not good football team. Like, it was never a close game. The Jags really handled the Panthers and handed it to them, right? They took advantage. But still, that doesn't mean that the Jaguars can hang with the likes of the best teams in the NFL or, even the Bengals, a team who failed to make the playoffs last year and has had struggles on defense and has had struggles early on in the season. Beating the Panthers does not mean you can hang with the big dogs. Point blank, period. I think that's actually very fair. The penalty one is an interesting argument. The Jaguars' penalty situation was atrocious last week. It was alarming during practice, during training camp, during the preseason, at times. And then you have 11 penalties for like almost 100 yards. And a lot of it, the ones that bothered me the most were the ones that led to 2nd and 20, like holding penalties, pre-snap, false start, things of that nature. You got to get that cleaned up. Like, you can't have everybody on your offensive line outside of one guy. Shout out to Anton Harrison for not having a penalty. You can't have every starter on your offensive line picking up a penalty every game. You just cannot have that. That's inexcusable, really, in my opinion, especially against a not so great Carolina Panthers defensive front. Yeah, they have Derek Brown. He's tough. And there's some decent guys, right? I'm not like just saying that's a horrible unit, but it's not one of the better units you're going to face. That's for sure. Beating yourself on offense with drops is not going to get the job done against better teams. 3 drops, 13% drop rate by the Jaguars receivers. That's no good. That is no good. 13% is way, way too high. And then missed throws as well by the quarterback, right? Like, Trevor Lawrence missed too many throws in this game. And you hope that that's like first game in a new offense type stuff, but you've seen at times Trevor Lawrence miss some throws. When you face a team with more than good one outside receiver, how can you handle that? How do you defend that? Because let's face it again, the Panthers outside receivers, only good one is T-Mac, and he was a rookie first game last week. Still had a good game. I think Tyson Campbell will handle his side of the field. But what happens when you have 2 good outside receivers? Is Jarian Jones good enough? When he was on Tedero McMillan, he struggled. Will Travis Hunter play more cornerback? He only had 6 reps at corner against the Panthers. Now, was that by design? Was that because the Jaguars didn't need him playing corner in the second half? Was that because he missed 10 days of camp? These questions need to be answered. The interior of the defensive line still isn't inspiring in a way that's like you have dominance. I think Eric Armstead still can be the guy that you want him to be, and I think you saw some of that on Sunday. I think Devon Hamilton, Colin Saunders, Austin Johnson can all stop the run. But where the heck is Mason Smith? That's the guy who, if you get him and Eric Armstead humming as pass rushers, you could have one of the most dominant pass rushes in football. He wasn't even active. And yeah, I mean, the lack of training camp reps and all that, but he played in the preseason week 3 game. He had a couple weeks of practice leading up. Can't get him on the field. And after the game, Liam Cohen says they are excited to get him on the field. They want him on the field. Why can't you get him on the field? What's up with that? Finally, I mean, the connection between Trevor Lawrence and Brian Thomas Jr. has been concerning all offseason. And it was concerning in week 1. Like, you target Brian Thomas Jr. 7 times and there's one connection. He needs to be targeted more than 7 times. Obviously, you don't want to force feed it when it's not working. But in most games, do you want Brian Thomas Jr. with more than 7 targets? Yeah, you do. And you know, the first target, Mike Jackson was all over it, right? It just is what it is. Second target, drop. Maybe third, fourth, fifth, few targets in there, just poor execution by Trevor. You did have the one nice first down in a big moment, which was good to see. But they got to get that figured out because Brian Thomas Jr. is one of the most dangerous wide receivers in football. Trevor Lawrence is too good to be missing him like that. Like, even if you think Trevor Lawrence isn't great, which a lot of folks don't, and he didn't play great on Sunday, there's no way he should be missing that much throwing to Brian Thomas Jr. Brian Thomas Jr. is a make-you-right type of receiver in a lot of ways. So that connection, I mean, if they can't get that going, what are we even doing here? Right? So that's the negative, pessimistic view on the Jaguars right now. Where do I stand on all this stuff? Yeah, the Panthers are not good. So you got to prove it against better football teams, bottom line. You did what you're supposed to do against a bad football team, but that doesn't mean you're going to do what you need to do against good football teams. The penalties, they are concerning. I do think the fact that you were able to overcome a lot of the penalties is good. Overall, week 1 is weird. I think that you have seen a pattern or trend of penalties being an issue. I'm going to say that I want more time to evaluate this situation penalty-wise. Beating yourselves with drops on offense. Do I think Brian Thomas Jr., Travis Hunter are going to drop a lot of footballs? No. De'Ami Brown, maybe. Yeah, I think that drops will get better. I don't think they're going to have a 13% drop rate every game. I think it'll be under 10 by season's end. When you face a team with more than one good outside receiver, how do you defend that? I am concerned with that a little bit. I do think Jarian Jones is a good player. He didn't play all that well on Sunday when he was lined up against Tedero McMillan. So, you know, facing teams like you're going to face this week with T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, is that concerning? Yes, that's concerning. Are you going to get Travis Hunter more out there at corner? I need to see that, right? So, interior of the defensive line, I'm not worried about it because I do think the guys we talked about can defend the run. I want to see Mason Smith, but they still can figure out ways to heat up the quarterback with the interior of the defensive line in pass rush situations because they can kick DeJuan Smoot and Trayvon Walker and Emmanuel Ogbah inside. So I'm actually not really worried about that. And then the Lawrence to BTJ connection, I have every confidence in the world they're going to figure that out. I really do. I think it's going to be much better than it was on Sunday. So that's where we're at. Are the Jaguars for real? I think they are definitely a organization right now that I believe in from the top down. I still think there's areas they need to improve as a team. I Still think there's areas they can get more talented as a team. But yeah, I think the Jaguars are a for real week-to-week competitive football team. And I think you're going to see that in Cincinnati on Sunday. Really appreciate y'all tuning in. If you enjoy the content, please like and subscribe. Y'all have a good one.